Hey, what's good, people? I am Cool Blue. This is
Lady Blu.
And this is another episode of Blue Talk, episode 17, and this would be Black Culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is my topic. I'm gonna spark this one off. Like I said, before I do anything, I'll have a definition for everything. Black culture refers to the contributions of African Americans to the culture of the United States, either as part of or a distinct mainstream American culture. Let's spark things off. First topic for the night is contributions. We know that Black people in general have contributed a lot to the U.S., but Black culture in general kind of kick a lot of things off. And I'm going to let you spark this one off, and I'm going to run it back through.
Okay, so basically, you can't have Black culture without Black people.
And
the first topic, of course, is contributions when it comes to music and fashion, which is countless. Countless. And one of the examples I wanted to give was, it wouldn't even be rock and roll if it wasn't for a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize that the godmother of rock and roll is actually Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
Mm-hmm.
Elvis was actually a big fan of hers,
Mm-hmm.
as well as a lot of other people grew from that. And then another branch of rock and roll, a lot of people don't realize until they get older and start watching documentaries or researching themselves. Rolling Stones were influenced by Muddy Waters,
Yeah.
along with James Brown.
Right.
So you can't have the culture if you don't have us.
Right.
Like, all of these people are us. And when it comes to fashion, like, we always contribute to the mainstream, like high-end designers and everything. We have some local examples here.
Yeah. Like I said, if it don't necessarily get that hood stamp of approval,
it's not hot.
And that goes for high-end fashion as well. I'm about to say, like, a lot of artists definitely put a lot of things in motion, whether it was trash or not, but we're not gonna get into that because, like I said, we pretty much talking about Black culture in general. But like, yeah, as far as me being a musician and knowing the culture, you talking about everything from jazz. Remember when jazz was looked at as the devil's music? I'm about to say, you talking about everything from John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Herbie Hancock, and a handful of others. But not going to deep dive into that. And fashion, like I love high-end fashion. I love streetwear, but we definitely are killing the market right now. Virgil is pretty much, it's Virgil at this point.
And as much as y'all hate him, Kanye West.
Yeah, most definitely.
And these big high-end brands also steal from indie designers too.
So most definitely. Like I said, I don't want to deep dive into that too much, but yeah, it's been noted on numerous occasions that these high-end brands steal from these locals or some of these indie brands out here. So, moving forward, in light of music and fashion, we also are gonna double down on art and film. The way we tapped into Hollywood, even within these past couple of years, like the numbers that, Black Panther did, and, like just a handful of other things, just Black Panther just jumps out because it was one of those high grossing, films.
Right.
And, but like, yeah, like what we've done on the art side of things, people are still wearing Basquiat joints for like t-shirts, like chains, whatever, you name it. It's like our hand in art and music and film and things of that nature. Will Smith is Will Smith. Angela Bassett. Like just a laundry list of names that we can kind of like throw out. I don't know if you saw my banner or not that I posted earlier this week, but Pam Grier, like.
Well, how Black exploitation films actually saved the film industry in the 70s.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like when I was younger and I realized that Black exploitation films saved the film industry, like I was like,
And not the ones, like, we're talking about the ones that were made by, like, black filmmakers and, like, help launch it. Like, not the ones where you like you jive turkey the whole way through. Like, not those.
Yeah. Actually, this is gonna kind of segue us into our next topic, which is black culture is black. Hate to break it to you. I mean, like, she touched on it earlier, but it's like you can't have black culture without black people. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people in society try to break away and try to make it seem like it's something that it's not, but you realistically cannot, I repeat, cannot have black culture without black people. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work. I'm sorry, folks. Like, and I'm gonna go into one of the subtopics, which is don't be ashamed. You hear so many people, like when they talk about certain things with art, film, it's like, oh, I don't necessarily have the big budget, or like some of the fancier equipment, or what the case may be, and it's like creators kind of stop themselves from creating because they feel as though they don't necessarily have the software or the equipment or whatever the case may be that a lot of these major labels have.
And that's when people do their best work.
Exactly. You always hear about these films. I'm about to say, like, what was the Best Man holiday film where they spent, like, I forgot how much money they said they spent, but they didn't spend a grip, but they
grossed in.
Yeah. They grossed. I mean, you talking about everything from Spike Lee, like, like She's Gotta Have It, films, Malcolm X. Like, yeah, it was a lot of his earlier films where, like, people halfway didn't even want to deal with him. Like, you know what I mean? So,
John Singleton with Boys in the Hood and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these movies that y'all like that are, like, black classics, they only had, like, 10 days to film. Like, Hollywood Shuffle with Robert Townsend.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
He shot that in 12 days.
Yeah. I mean, like, don't get me the line about the numbers. I'm not necessarily as far as like budgets and days and stuff, but like I know that a lot of those black producers and things of that nature, like they had to jump through loophole after loophole just to kind of sort of make shit shake in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
That, and it kind of like butchers myself for the next topic, which is know your history. I'll let you kind of kickstart into this one because I've been rambling for a while.
Know your history. Start just researching and being interested in it. Even if it's not something that is like your primary focus, still look into it. Like a lot of the things that we've learned over the years have come from the artists' mouths themselves, from watching documentaries and like having first-hand accounts. And to be honest, some of these people are so influential that are talking, not even who the documentary is about. Like, it's one guy, he's a guitarist, and he's in like everybody from that was big in the 60s, like documentary.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, like, he has stories for Miles Davis, John Coltrane,
Quincy Jones.
Are you talking
about Neil Rogers?
Not real Neil Rogers, but it's the really older guy, William Harry or something like that.
Yeah.
He is in everybody's documentary. Like, between him and Neil Rogers, like, like, to the point, we watched the documentary on Neil Rogers because I just was like, he's in everybody's documentary, whether it's behind the music VH1 or a real, like, serious in-depth documentary. He is right there talking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you'll be surprised. Like, the next big one we have to watch is like The Black Godfather.
The Black Godfather. Yeah. That's been on our list for like forever and a day. But like since we've been home, we've been shaving everything off.
Since we unemployed right now.
Yeah. I'm about to say we've been shaving everything off the list. I'm about to say, side note, I know this has nothing to do with what we're doing right now, but shout out to all of the people who actually do have to get up and go to work every single solitary day. We appreciate you. Like, we pray for you. We love you. Please be safe out here.
And we listening because we only leave the house once a week for food and to do Blue Talk.
Do this.
We're legit in front of our house.
Exactamundo. About once a week, folks.
Once a week.
But we're getting back on topic. The final topic, change the narrative. And when I say change the narrative, I'm basically saying tell your story, to kind of piggyback off the fact of not being ashamed of your story. You know, like you hear so many times like, well, what makes your story different from the next guy, and yada yada yada. Like,
I live my life.
Don't be afraid to tell your story, because your story matters. I don't care how many people tell you that your story don't matter. You don't know what's going on in your life that can impact somebody's life in a positive manner, or can be transparent to somebody's life in a positive manner.
And even on some other stuff, like, even if you thinking like, oh, I'm not interested or I'm not cool, you would be surprised how many people have the same interests as you.
Right.
Black, white, and different. Like, there's so many people who have the same interests as you. Like, you're not the only person who likes anime or whatever else. Like,
yeah, and that's another thing. Everybody swear by God that they're one of, and it's like, granted, like, yeah, you're one of, you're unique, but in a sense, whereas though when you deal with certain things, you're not the only person who deals with that. Like give yourself an opportunity to be transparent, and you'll be surprised as to how many people realistically like the same things that you like.
yeah, if you saw what I follow on Facebook, I follow, what is it, carnivorous plants, I think. Yeah. I mean, some of these people love, like, they have sketches of these plants on their wall and stuff. Like, it's cool. Like, everybody is got something similar to somebody.
Yeah, I'm about to say, now the house is filled with plants, edible and non-edible.
Mm-hmm. I had to get a hobby during quarantine.
Edible and non-edible, people. I promise you, it is green. Like I said, when I said something about that green thumb, I was like 2 episodes ago. Like, yeah, like, yeah,
sprouted.
literally. So it's like, I'm about to say, I mean, granted, it's going to save us on groceries and all that good jazz, but you know. And the last thing I'm kind of touching on is being authentic. And when it comes to, you know, you not being ashamed and you telling your story and knowing your history, be as authentic to yourself as you possibly can, because Black culture literally rides on a lot of people being authentic to themselves. Mm-hmm. Because you find in most cases that we have to go above and beyond just to be at the table with mediocre. And that still goes on to this day. You know, like, you have to go above and beyond, break records, be amazing just to sit at the table with mediocre. And I'm not trying to say that everybody else is mediocre. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that history repeats itself time and time again, where Black folks have to go above and beyond just to be considered, in a sense.
Mm-hmm. And only thing I could add to that is, when you're authentic, people gravitate towards you more.
Exactly.
So, I mean, just think about it. Like, some of your favorite artists, you love them because they're them. Like, they don't try to hide it or cut or slice it. And even later on down the line, when you feel like someone is not authentic is what they were portraying themselves, you notice that they lose their fan base quick.
Exactly. Like we was talking about that the other day, like how everybody sit back and talk about how Muhammad Ali and how flamboyant and outspoken and all this other type of stuff. But then you turn around and bash Floyd Mayweather for being the same exact way. Granted, I don't encourage Beat a Bitch Academy, like the whole, like,
his
domestic.
Track record.
Yes, I'm about to say, I don't encourage that. I'm about to say, don't.
If he didn't have the track record, though.
I'm about to say, I do not condone domestic violence, but everything that man do inside the ring and the way that he talk trash, and, you know, whatever the case may be, they sit back and they bash dude 110, and then it's like you turn around in the same breath and praise Muhammad Ali for the same exact thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like they like you being outspoken, but to a degree. And you know, like, it's history has, you know, like, you don't necessarily get your flowers until you're gone.
But we should start giving them now.
Sad but true. I mean, yeah. Definitely. Like Nipsey, it's been a year since he passed. What, yesterday?
I think actually when the video released, so Friday.
Oh, okay. Like I said, I thought it was yesterday or maybe like I don't know, but yeah. So it's like, granted, he was one of the people that I felt was getting their flowers while he was alive, but you know, like he's definitely getting his flowers now when it's like now that he's gone.
Yeah.
Or transitioned, because like people like to say that nowadays. Now that he's transitioned. But any final thoughts before we
Nah, just stay black, stay true, stay you. And if you're not black, stay whatever, stay true, stay you. Because authenticity is what makes the world go round.
My final thought is the thought I came in on. You cannot have black culture without black people. They have been trying to strip black people away from black culture for years.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sad. It's really, really sad. But you cannot have black culture without black people. And I will say that to the day I'm cold stiff.
Yeah, and another good example of that, I would say, is Iggy Azalea. Only because not that she didn't give her flowers, but I feel like she just didn't do enough research for the old school like hosts and stuff she was interviewing with. So without her knowing her knowledge and things like that, and not truly being authentic, because people were upset she wasn't rapping with an accent, that's how her star fell so quickly. So that's how stuff will play out if you have black culture and not the black people.
Okay. I don't really follow it too tough. I'm about to say I didn't heard a couple of radio songs. I'm about to say or a couple of music videos, but I'm not necessarily the biggest fan, so I can't necessarily speak on it.
And it's a dated reference.
But this has been another episode of Blue Talk. I am Cool Blue. This is
Lady Blu.
And we catch you on the next go round. She got the next topic, 18.
I don't have it just shot.
Talk to you.
Bye.